If you're at all familiar with the Toronto housing market cycles, then you probably understand that the summer market tends to be a little slow and generally picks back up as we move into the fall. Well, in this video, we go over the August 2022 Toronto real estate stats. If you're thinking of buying or selling in the GTA in the next 3 to 6 months or so, you'll probably want to watch this as there might be some things that surprise you. Stay tuned. Hi everyone, my name is Morgan Little. I'm a realtor with Chase Realty and Toronto Property Finder. If at any time you have any questions about what's going on in the market and how it applies to you in your specific situation, feel free to book a one-on-one call with me directly by using the link in the description below. All right, let's talk about it. So we're going to go over the numbers for August 2022 and how they compare to this time last year, as well as go over things looking at a month-to-month basis. So let's do that here. So we're here on the Toronto Market Watch. We'll go over the quick overview just to get a quick glance at things. And so we are looking here initially at the total number of transactions, which were a measly 5,627, which is down 34.2% from the same time in 2021. But they are up from only 4,912 in July, so I suppose that is an improvement. And we'll keep moving down here to the total number of new listings. And that is pretty much bang on from last year at 10,537. As you can see, a year ago was 10,615. Not a huge difference there. But it is down a fair amount from July's numbers, which were 12,046, which is really, it's fine and fairly normal. Like I mentioned, the summer market tends to be slower, but moving into September, we generally see an increase. So the one thing that does seem like a big increase at over 60%, but shouldn't really be a surprise, is the average number of days on market now that we've moved out of this insane seller's market that we were in earlier in the year. It makes sense, that it's 34 days where it was 21 this time last year. Seems like a very big jump, but it was only 29 days in July of 2022. So month over month, it doesn't feel like that big of a jump. 60% feels like a huge number, I know, but like I said, month over month, not quite as much of an impact. But before we get there, let's talk about the number that everyone likes to hear about, the average selling price. Drum roll, please. And the price is pretty much the same as the average selling price of last year. So we are currently at average selling price, again, across the entire GTA of $1,079,500. Pretty darn close to last year, August 2021, which was $1,070,201. So I know it's nothing to write home about, up 0.5%. However, what is interesting is that since February, we've seen a decline in prices month over month. And this is the first month that we are actually seeing an increase in prices from July, up from 1,074,754. So that is interesting. Could this mean that prices have bottomed out and the market is heading back up? Only time will tell. But I wouldn't bet on any major increases as we move through the fall and winter markets. But it's definitely noteworthy and something to keep an eye on, which is why we do this every month. Of course, we can't talk about these numbers without mentioning the interest rate increases we've been seeing and will likely continue to see in November and December, as they have an obvious impact on the number of sales happening and ipso facto the prices, because it affects people's purchasing power. And please remember, this is an average of all markets and all asset classes across the Toronto Real Estate Board. So it needs to be taken with a little grain of salt. If you look strictly at detached homes in Toronto core versus condos or townhomes in Mississauga, which a lot of my buyer clients are currently in the market for, then you're definitely going to have some varying results. I won't go too deep into the numbers in each asset class in this video because I know it can get overwhelming and confusing when someone just hurls a bunch of numbers at you without any real context or application on your own situation. I'm really just trying to convey a general sentiment and give you a feel for what's happening in the Toronto and general GTA real estate. That being said, I would be more than happy to go through the numbers and discuss what's happening in the market and asset class that concerns you and your particular situation. Like I mentioned at the start of this video, feel free to book a call with me and we can talk about what's important to you. Click the link in the description and I look forward to chatting to you. Till then, be well. Ciao for now.